Welcome to Wedded Whispers, the ultimate podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the wedding industry from a DJ's perspective. It's not just about the music, it's about crafting unforgettable moments. From romantic slow dances to high energy beats, we are the architects of the dance floor magic. Join us as we unravel the secrets of creating the perfect ambiance, reading the crowd, and keeping the party alive all night long. Timing is everything, knowing when to build the anticipation, when to drop the ultimate party anthem. But it's not just about the party. We'll explore the emotional journeys, share personal stories, and reveal the art of creating the soundtrack to the most important day of someone's life. Collaboration is key. Working with talented vendors enhances the overall experience, ensuring every element aligns perfectly. In each episode, we'll be joined by the best in the wedding business, florists, photographers, caterers, and more, to give you a 360-degree view of what it takes to orchestrate the perfect day. Flowers aren't just decorations, they tell a story. Capturing those candid moments is what makes a wedding album timeless. And the way to a guest's heart is through your taste buds. Subscribe now to Wedded Whispers, where the spotlight is not only on the music, but on the entire symphony of professionals who make weddings magical. Welcome back to Wedded Whispers. I'm your host, DJ Willie D. Thank you so much for your support. And for previous clients that have reached out to me, either in the Q&A on the podcast or via Facebook or YouTube, thanks for chiming in and telling me what you think brides that are in the planning phase of their wedding should know about. This has helped tremendously. Of course, who would know better? So today's topic is money matters, navigating all the wedding planning budgets. Money truly is the matter when it comes to weddings. From venues to flowers to the dream dress, every decision has a price tag attached to it. So let's get right into it. Setting a budget is really the cornerstone of the whole planning process. It's a roadmap that guides your decisions and helps you keep track of your spending. But the question is, where do we start? It really starts with an honest conversation about priorities. Couples should really be sitting down a year in advance, at least a year in advance, together and discuss what aspects of the wedding are most important to them. Is it the venue? Is it the food? Is it the entertainment? Once there's a clear idea of the priorities, you can start allocating money appropriately. Now, for my case, there are, just as many brides one way or the other that, maybe they're focusing on the dance floor. Maybe they're focusing more on the lighting. Maybe there's not really a dance crowd, and they want to focus on some other things. Maybe they want dancing on the cloud. They want a, sparkler send-off. Maybe they want a photo booth. Some other items to keep people entertained. There are any number of directions that you can go. Now, same thing with, decor and catering. Catering is a big cost. Are you going to do maybe a food truck, or maybe you're going to do a buffet, or maybe you're going to go all out and do, a plated dinner. So these are all items that could end up putting you anywhere between, $12 and $15 a plate, or, upwards of 25 and 30, depending on what you want to do. So until you really decide that budget before you bring these items into play, there's not much you can do about the other items. So continuing, it's really crucial to build a buffer for those unexpected costs as well. I usually recommend setting aside, somewhere between 10 to 15% of your total budget for unforeseen expenses. That way, if something does come up, you're not completely thrown off course. Maybe 2 months out, you realize that maybe the dress needs to be altered, or maybe there was a mix-up in communication and somebody didn't order, or book the photo booth. Maybe somebody missed the mark and, didn't think about your DIY item. There are several things that can crop up, towards the end of the planning process, and you just want to make sure you're prepared. So flexibility is really a big thing when it comes to finding a venue that fits your budget. In order to save a little money there, you can consider maybe getting married on a Friday or a Sunday instead of a Saturday, as many venues will offer lower rates on those days. You could also think a little outside the box and consider, a non-traditional venue, maybe like a park or museum or a family member's backyard. You can save a ton of money there. So let's talk about a couple ways you can save money without sacrificing style. One of my favorite budget-friendly decor ideas is the DIY projects. There are so many tutorials online for everything from centerpieces to signage. You can get creative and enlist your wedding party, your friends and family to help bring your vision to life. You can also consider, renting decor items instead of buying them outright, and you can save a lot of money, but you can also save on waste. So let's talk about another major expense, the wedding dress. There are tons of options for wedding dresses these days. You can shop sample sales or trunk shows. You can find, designer dresses at a fraction of the cost. Another option is to maybe consider buying a pre-loved dress. There are, wedding Facebook groups everywhere. I see at least a few weekly where brides, have graduated from the group and they're, selling their dress. It's worn twice, maybe 3 times. You can find huge bargains there. So you may consider that. Other items to consider when it comes to your budget is booking in advance. One of the recurring topics here is going to be that whole planning timeline. It really helps if you have your vendors locked in, at least 8 months in advance. A lot of the best vendors around, your planners, your venues, your entertainment, your coordinators, especially your good coordinators and planners, they're going to be booked well in advance, especially peak spring and fall season. So if you're looking at getting married that time of year, you want to make sure you're booked well in advance. That is also a huge savings in the budget. If you wait till the last minute, prices have gone up, dates are getting thin. So consider booking well in advance. So to kind of wrap this up, my biggest piece of advice is to remember that your wedding day is about celebrating your love with the people who matter most to you. Don't get too caught up in the details or the stress about making everything perfect. Focus on what truly matters and everything else will fall into place. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to Wedded Whispers. I'm your DJ Willie D, signing off for episode 3. Can't wait to have you all back. Can't wait to hear what you guys want to hear about. Drop down to that Q&A section right under the podcast on Spotify. Let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know what you thought about this podcast. And we will see you between now and then.